We are live. Welcome, everybody. Great to have you here with us this morning, this afternoon, this evening, wherever you're dialing in from. And man, always a pleasure. We are all together, the four of us in Tokyo, Japan, right now, getting ready for an incredible event tomorrow. Edward, Ilya, Dr. Eric, great to be here with you guys. Good to see you guys
Yeah,
on Zoom and great to be spending time with you here in Tokyo.
yes. It's a really good place to be in.
Yeah,
It's
it's
the
been
best place
amazing
to
and
be.
really looking forward to today, looking forward to tomorrow. So exciting, man. So many great things.
Yeah, it is exciting. The Japanese team have received their DNA test and
Yeah.
their product, and so the excitement is super high right now here in Japan. And of course, tomorrow we're going to be sharing a lot of what we're sharing today. We're going to be going over the Biolimitless Centers of Excellence, the crowdfunding model, and there's so much buzz and excitement around that. What an incredible opportunity for people to invest and actually own a piece of the Biolimitless Centers, and what a disruptive project. We'll be talking about all of that on the call today as well. But a lot of great things are happening. We've got some great updates for everyone today as well. And what an incredible path forward, Dr. Eric. This was all a vision, 2 years ago, and it's been something you've been putting together for the last 2 decades of your career, and it's an amazing feeling. Certainly, I love our conversations because we understand, and the four of us talk all the time, that when you're doing something that has never been done before, you're going to have challenges that you've never had before. And we definitely have faced those challenges head on the last couple of months. But man, are we turning some big corners? And well, I just want to say publicly with the entire community that where we are going, this vision that Dr. Eric has for impacting people's lives at such a deep level, guys, it's worth the journey. We are truly disrupting multiple industries with this project. And when we get on the other side of those pre-launch challenges and we prepare for the official launch to the world, this is going to be the one of the most impactful, powerful, life-changing, world-changing projects that any of us have ever been a part of. So, Dr. Eric, we're excited, man, and
Yeah.
just honored to be a part of this journey with you.
Well, thank you for that, and I'm humbled, honored, and excited as well. And look, I think it would be remiss if we didn't talk about the fact that you know there's going to be challenges along the way, especially when you're, I don't know how to say it, but up against one of the largest systems that have been, first of all, that's broken, which is our global healthcare system, which is neither healthy nor is it care, and it's all over the news in the U.S. and all over the news globally how broken the system is. And the definition of insanity is doing the same thing again and again and expecting a different result. We have been living in the insane asylum for the past 100 years, and we're now breaking out of it. And there's going to be some challenges. I don't even know if I would call it challenges. It's just part of the process. And I was
Yeah.
explaining yesterday to someone who's a doctor friend of mine. I said, "Look, we're swimming in uncharted, choppy water. Not everybody can swim in the chop. But if you want to wait until the waters are smooth, come on, that's fine. But after I said that to this doctor, he said, "Okay, I'm all in. That's exactly what we have to do. And thank you for that vision and leadership." And guys, I couldn't do this by myself. Not only do I have the vision, but you have the vision. Ilya, Jeremy, Edward, and our global leaders have the vision, and they know that it is for such a time as this to power through. So I'm excited of where we're at. I'm excited of where we're going. I'm excited that we've broken through some huge milestones that's going to make this so much more simpler for the average Joe and Jane to participate in what we're doing. And man, I can't wait to share with everyone what it is that we're doing, tonight. So it's just so good, man. So good.
It's awesome. It's awesome.
Yeah.
Well, Edward, I know this is something you're really passionate about. You're one of the healthiest people that I know. When we went to St. Louis for the very first time, and all of us did our testing. Me and Ilya, we had a lot of work to do. Dr. Eric kind of came away from our tests and our blood work and said, "Okay, boys, we gotta make some changes." We came away from Edwards and we're all like, this is the poster child. I think his biological age was like 20 years old, and he's because you live this amazing healthy lifestyle, but you're also an investor. You've invested in many businesses and successfully. And I know that today you're specifically excited about the crowdfunding conversation. I remember when we came to the final model, you're like, I can't wait to go to Japan. I can't wait for the leaders in Tokyo to see the residual income component that is available through this crowdfunding model. And so, man, I'm gonna throw it over to you, brother, to share some of your thoughts about what we're going to be talking about today.
Yeah, it doesn't matter how healthy you are, there's still room to work on. After you get to know your DNA, after you do your DNA test, and you look and you go like, all my life, I had no idea I can't, this is not good for me, or this is how much I need to sleep. I like, guys, DNA, start with DNA. But I mean, what can it be better when you have a center to go and take care of your health, right? I mean, we're gonna change the world from both sides. We're gonna make so many people like not just healthy, also wealthy. And that's why I'm so excited. I want people actually really, really like really focus and understand our compensation plan, really understand our bonuses because what we came to, it's the most exciting. It is the most exciting. If you don't get excited, that means you did not understand it. There is no way a human cannot get excited if hearing this. It's just like it's so good. It's not possible not to get excited. And it's so clear because look, it's not it it's not Dr. Eric's first project. He owns a center. He owned a lot of centers and he owns right now, right? There's a saying, if you want to go fast, you do it by yourself. If you want to go far, you
Hmm.
do it together, right? And the crowdfunding, we going far. I mean, we can build right now, just us four. We can put 4, 5, 10 really fast. We can do it right now, right? Centers.
Yeah.
But how far can we go?
Mhm.
Crowdfunding, there's a reason why we're doing crowdfunding. There is a big reason, and needs to be really this message needs to go. I'm happy for tomorrow because tomorrow we have time to talk.
Yeah,
Right. Anyway,
exactly.
I just want to pass it back to
I
one
love
of
it.
you guys. Get
By
it.
the people for the people.
Yeah.
That's the mantra, and it always will be. And I like that saying. And we know too. On the product side, guys, when we're going to make some really big announcements in the next couple of months about where we're going and some partnerships that are taking place. And look, just when we just have the credit card processing available and shipping is happening within 24 hours. And we just remove some of those barriers to entry that we have in our pre-launch phase right now. This thing's going to open up so full throttle. And really, that's how you have to look at it is we are fully in a pre-launch. This is a startup project. And just hang in there. Just hang in there with us. Because we know where this thing is going. We've got the right people in place. We're bringing all of the infrastructure together, and it's going to be huge. But today, what we're going to be talking about with the crowdfunding, this is a whole nother level of conversation because this is an opportunity for you to have equity ownership, real profit sharing ownership in physical businesses with the vision of 200 clinics over the next 3 years, 2,000 centers over the next 7 years, all over the globe, all over the world, community owned, community driven, community backed. And it's something that's never been done before. And today, Dr. Eric's going to be sharing just some of what these centers are going to be doing, just so you can understand and have a vision of the services that it's going to provide. And then today we're going to share the exact numbers based upon the most conservative estimates the conservative financials that we could deliver. We're going to break it all down and show you the actual ROI to the investors. We're going to show you the profit sharing pools today and how that works. This has never been done in the history of the industry, where a community can own and promote these centers, and just by being a promoter of the project, have equity profit sharing in the profit pools from all of the centers around the world. Typically in the peer-to-peer industry, the only way you earn residual income is if you have a team of people who are spending money every month and buying product. And that's a great model. It's been around for 100 years. Auto ships and people signing up and ordering. That's great. But this is the first time where, as a community, you can earn a lifetime of residual income, even if nobody in your organization is spending any new money, because you're now earning residual income on actual assets, actual business assets. And this has never, ever been done before in the history of the crowdfunding industry, the peer-to-peer industry. It is a game changer. And we're going to share those numbers with you today. Ilya, we're going to go to you in between the segments today, because I want to dive in now. I think everybody's ready to really hear and see some of this. So we're going to go to Dr. Eric right now to show us what these centers do. And then we're going to come back in and go through the numbers and dive in a little bit more at that time. So Dr. Eric, going to throw it to you, man. I think you should be able to share your screen. And guys, let's enjoy this today. We're recording this presentation today so that everyone can have this available for playback afterwards. So Dr. Eric, over to you, buddy.
Perfect. Can you guys see my slides?
Yes, sir.
All right. Well, first of all, this is really exciting because, look, I always tell folks I'm from Missouri. It's the show me state, right? And I'm going to show you something that only exists in a very small, very niche aspect of true health and wellness care. And I know that because it really only exists in my world. And I'll tell you what's amazing is, when you're a chef, right? Chefs have access to all kinds of ingredients, but in order to be a high level chef, you have to not only have access to the ingredients, but you have to know exactly what ingredients to put in, when to put them in, and how long to cook it for. I'm going to show you some of the ingredients that we use in the Biolimitless Centers of Excellence. And you guys, our whole mindset is physiology doesn't lie. We test, we don't guess. And that really is the big secret behind the Biolimitless Centers of Excellence. So let's talk a little bit about what can be expected when someone comes into one of the Biolimitless Centers of Excellence. By the way, whether you get tested in any state in the United States of America, whether you get tested in Japan, Singapore, anywhere in the globe, our centers of excellence are going to have the same centers of standards where we're going to be measuring what are called the 5 pillars of human performance. Remember, we don't focus on disease. We don't focus on the end stage problem. We don't want to manage your diseases. We want to find from the root cause of the problem through precision testing, focusing on our 5 pillars of human performance. And let me talk about those 5 pillars. Number 1 is we measure genetic profiles. I'm going to go over all of these on the following slides, but having a genetic profile, it literally is like having a user's manual for you. And I'll tell you, my vision of us having, every man, woman, and child having a roadmap of how you should eat, how you should sleep, how you should supplement, how your body handles stress, what possible diseases you're predisposed to. I mean, it really truly is a game changer if you can have a genetic profile. So we measure the genes. The second thing we look at, that's your central nervous system. Well, that's your brain and your spinal cord. If you think about your brain, it's the master controller, the master computer of your body. And if there's problems in the central nervous system, that leads to downstream issues with organs, cells, genetic expression, etc. In fact, 2016, there was a huge shift in the way that we look at pain management. In fact, we're now saying that people don't have pain problems, they have brain problems. And we measure that in our centers of excellence. The third thing we look at, which this is so powerful, this is so important, is the autonomic nervous system. It's the automatic nervous system. system. It's the nervous system that's the brain-gut connection. It's the vagus nerve. It's really what is the genesis behind almost all chronic illness is dysfunction in the autonomic nervous system. Most people don't even know what that is. Most doctors learned about it in medical school, but don't test about it anywhere on the planet. And we actually have the ability to test in real time and see how the body's balancing between the sympathetic and parasympathetic nervous system and how the human body responds to stress. Because it's not inflammation that's the cause of all disease. It's the stress that causes that. We can measure that. The fourth thing that we measure in the 5 pillars of health is microbiome health. And ladies and gentlemen, I need you to understand that even Hippocrates, the father of medicine, said first heal the gut and everything else will fall into place. We have the ability to precisely measure the microbiome and with our precision therapeutics, get that microbiome back to balance, which is the key to not just digestion, but to metabolism, to brain health, and to immune function. This is the key to overall well-being. And last but not least is measuring your cellular matrix. The function of your cells determines the function of your health. We're going to look at not only the size and shape and functionality of your cells, but we're going to be measuring what's in your cells: vitamins, minerals, nutrients, hormones. Listen, I need you to understand that the 5 pillars of human performance are really the keystone behind the centers of excellence. So check this out. Our Centers of Excellence examination, it's a comprehensive tiered examination system to optimize human performance and health. So there are 3 examinations that are broken down. Now, I will tell you that 90% of our patients are going to have all 3 of these examinations done. But I want everyone to understand the Biolimitless Centers of Excellence, we offer something for everyone. So for example, we have a basic examination. Our basic examination is, by the way, not so basic, and you'll see that in just a moment, but it's primarily for neuromusculoskeletal problems. These are things like issues with pain, joint problems, back problems, headaches, shoulder issues, movement issues, which are a serious problem that we have. And by the way, these movement issues over time cause dysfunction in the central nervous system. And your low back pain that you have today could literally be one of the causes for neurodegeneration that can cause things like Parkinson's and Alzheimer's as we get older. The second exam is our moderate exam. That's the functional medicine, functional neurology exam that addresses chronic illness. Folks, I'm telling you right now, this is the biggest issue that we're seeing on the planet. In the United States alone, 60%, ladies and gentlemen, 60% of all people in the United States of America has at least one chronic illness. 40% has at least 2 chronic illness. And now we're raising a generation of children that it's almost inevitable that they're going to have chronic illness. Right now, 1 in 7 children have that. Not only can we assess that now, but we can also prevent these things from happening in the future. The third examination is our elite human performance exam. This is true longevity. Folks, I'm telling you, the latest, greatest research and researchers who we are affiliated with at the Biolimitless Centers of Excellence are literally 2 to 3 years away from cracking the code of longevity. Longevity is not anti-aging. Longevity is helping us live a long, happy, healthy, productive life, not just living long, but thriving in our senior years as well. So let's go through our exams. Check this out. This by itself is the quote unquote basic examination, which you can see is not very basic. This exam is designed to help individuals that have acute musculoskeletal pain and some neuromusculoskeletal problems, like I said, like joint pain, back pain, shoulder pain. By the way, 80%, remember this or write this down, 80% of the global population is dealing with some type of neuromusculoskeletal pain, and most doctors are taught to manage that pain. Let me tell you again, manage. What would you rather have done? Your pain managed, or would you rather have the root of the problem assessed and a precise therapeutic plan put together for you to correct the cause? Look what we measure. We measure heart rate variability. This is amazing. We call this a brain scan. It measures brain function, autonomic nervous system function, which is our body's ability to adapt to stress. There could be 100 people that have the same injury or the same stress in their life, physically, chemically, or emotionally, but everyone's going to respond differently based off of how their autonomic nervous system and their brain can respond. Very powerful test. We run thermography exams, which is a non-invasive test that measures the heat and inflammation patterns in the body, which, by the way, most physicians will tell you that inflammation is the root of most problems. I'm going to tell you that's not entirely correct. We go deeper to find the stress that causes that inflammation, but the thermography gives us precise testing to tell us where and why. We do surface EMG testing. This measures muscle function. Folks, you've got to understand that 80 to 90% of joint pain in the spine, in the elbow, the knee, the hip, you name it, is because of abnormal muscle function. We can measure it with precise testing and develop a therapeutic plan for that. We do x-rays as well. X-rays are so important. Listen, to see is to know, and not to see is to guess. Remember, we test, we don't guess. To have images of the spine, to not and the joints, to not just look at, do we have broken bones, bruised bones, but to actually assess joint function and make sure that there's not any fractures, misalignments, or degenerative changes. And the fifth thing that we measure in the basic exam, which you can see is not very basic at all, is a urinalysis. This measures metabolic disorders. It looks at vitamins and mineral dysfunctions. It looks at toxicity levels. It looks to see if the body has things like parasites and candida. It measures the enzyme function in the body as well as the pH. And Dr. Otto Weinberg, who won a Nobel Prize in the 1940s, said that, look, if your pH is low, below a 7, your body's acidic and you're going to get sick. We measure those things in the basic examination. Here's your heart rate variability test. This is quite a detailed slide here. We can measure actual brain function. We can chart the brain to see the progress along the way. By the way, this is heart rate variability. It is the gold standard in measuring autonomic nervous system balance and primarily how the brain function and fires. And it gives us real-time insights on how the body responds to both external and internal stresses. This is recognized by doctors and scientists across the globe as the gold standard, and it's one of our tests that we run on our examinations. This is what it looks like. This is actually NASA technology. It looks like we've got you hooked up to some jumper cables and you're watching a computer screen in real time. But this is one of the most research-backed diagnostic tests that are out there that measures different brainwave activity. And if you look on the slide here, you can see where it says, where it's red, yellow, green, and blue. Those are different brainwaves. This is a normal brain pattern. But if the red was high or the yellow was high, that means the brain's asleep. That means the body's not working like it's supposed to. That means it can't repair, it can't rest, it can't heal, and the brain is fogged. This all correlates with the inability for the body to heal itself. The thermography test, this shows you exactly, precisely where the inflammation is around the muscles and the joints systemically in the body. Where there's hot areas of inflammation, we can also pick up on abnormalities of lymphatic tissue. Even precancerous lesions can be diagnosed. Folks, I'm telling you, it is so important to know that you're standing on the train tracks and the train is coming down to hit you, that you can get off the train. It's all about off the tracks. It's all about prevention. And this is thermography is, again, one of the most research-backed diagnostic tests that are on the market to do that. Surface EMG, one of my favorite tests that we evaluate muscle function with. Look, I'm telling you, most of your chronic pain, most of your joint issues, most of the achiness, and we all know that once we get over the age of 30, sometimes we wake up in the morning and feel like we've had a kung fu fight in our sleep, and it's because of the muscle imbalances. with these tests, we can actually measure the stress of our muscles, and then we can develop precise therapeutics based off of that measurement. X-rays, again, provide a clear insight to the musculoskeletal issues in the body. And there are many things that we will pick up on an X-ray that might not be seen even on blood tests, like abnormal thyroid calcification or bone spurs or chronic inflammatory issues where the joints have started to erode. Again, one of the most researched ways to absolutely measure the structure and the function of structure in the human body. Our urinalysis test, like I said before, measures, not just your hydration levels and infection, but it measures your vitamins, your minerals, your pH levels, and so many things we can see by a simple urinalysis test that tells us, do you have leaky gut? Do you have chronic inflammatory issues? Are there deficiencies or toxicities that need to be addressed in order to truly heal? Folks, that's just in our basic exam. And after the basic examination, we will have some level of physical medicine therapy, whether that's a joint manipulation from our chiropractors or our osteopaths, or some level of physical therapy, or even an IV nutrient or an exosome stem cell after the examination. The second exam is our functional medicine and functional neurological exam. It includes all of the tests that we did in the basic exam, and now we're adding an EKG. Now we're adding advanced autonomic nervous system analysis, which is called an ANS. I'm going to share with you in a moment, but this is one of the most breakthrough and most researched exam on the marketplace today to really understand how to heal the body. And then we run very comprehensive wellness blood panels. We're going to look at all the vitamins, all the minerals, all the inflammatory markers. We're going to even measure to see if your body has what are called latent infections, things like cytomegalovirus virus, Epstein-Barr virus. These are things that, if are present in the human body, these could be the very reasons why your body is so stressed out and not healing. In fact, many of you have heard of an EKG before. It assesses heart function. And I will tell you that we find on so many patients who are asymptomatic, people who have no history of heart problems, that have arrhythmias, ischemias, and other cardiovascular issues. Look, it's the number one cause of death on the planet, at least everywhere on the planet, except for, a few small areas like Japan and a couple other areas where cancer kills more folks than heart disease does. But we can pick up early problems before they even come on to the individual. And this again it's an absolute game changer and such a blessing. I can't tell you how many thousands of patients that we've been able to show that, hey, look, you're a candidate for having a heart attack in the next 3 to 5 years if we don't do something now. And most people don't get an opportunity to have advanced testing like this, unfortunately, until they have a heart attack or some other horrible problem. This is the autonomic nervous system test. Man, I will tell you, I'm so excited about sharing this test with all of you, how it works and what it does. This is a comprehensive test that measures, by the way, in about 10 minutes. This test only takes about 10 minutes to do. It measures the comprehensive vascular function of your body. In fact, if you look at this slide and you look at the picture in the middle, it measures the autonomic nervous system, which you are going to be hearing about massively in the news. You're hearing about it now. These are diseases like POTS. These are other issues like diabetes, metabolic syndrome, hyperlipidemia, thyroid issues, liver disorders, Cushing's syndrome, adrenal fatigue, and much more. We can pick up on the root cause of those things. We can measure cardiac function, cardiac metabolism, small fiber nerve issues that can lead to things like fibromyalgia and other autoimmune issues. This is, if I did no other test out there, and I ran the autonomic nervous system test and the genetic test, we could really, really change the way that most people perceive and receive healthcare. But this is so powerful. And again, it is the most research-backed autonomic nervous system comprehensive device on the marketplace with, listen to this, a 95.7% specificity, which means within a 95.7% chance of picking up problems, not just the problems that you're symptomed with now, but what you could be having in the future. It's literally a game changer. Obviously, comprehensive blood panels. I mean, through measuring blood, we can tell the here and now, but you have to understand blood is just a snapshot of what's going on now in your body. Your blood can change really every 30, 60, 90 days it takes for your red blood cells and white blood cells to turn over. But we can detect hormone imbalances, inflammatory markers, disease markers, cancer markers, heart markers, and so much more with our comprehensive Biolimitless wellness panel, which is way different than the blood test that you're used to getting from your doctor once or twice a year that really does nothing other than tell you what drugs they want to prescribe you. This also after our moderate examination, again, you'll have some level of physical medicine treatment, some level of IV therapy to help really get the body moving in the right direction that's precise towards the testing that the individual had that day. And it really is. This is the most comprehensive functional medicine approach that's on the market today. Look, I've had people come from all over the planet to see me and my teams for the past 2 decades, and we've only been up until now running just a fraction of these tests and getting absolutely amazing results. And then we have the Human Performance Elite examination. This examination includes all the tests in the basic exam, the moderate exam, but now we're adding to our top tiered examination here ultrasounds of the thyroid, the abdominal aorta, the kidneys, and the carotid arteries, and the Biolimitless DNA Discovery Kit, which I know many of you have already done or are in the process of doing. Really, these two by themselves are complete game changers. You know, ultrasounds of the organs are really telling us the function of your organs. You know, if the blood flow's not flowing like it's supposed to, or if the heart's not pumping, if there's any blockages or any type of calcification or any type of abnormal cells or masses, through this non-invasive imaging, we really can give you a full assessment of what's going on from your organs. And we can tell you the biological and chronological age of your organs, your brain, your blood function. I mean, this really enhances patient care by truly, truly identifying really risk potentials people have. And look, if we're talking about, living to be 120 to 200 years of age, which is exactly what science is telling us that we're going to be expecting to this day, we better know how our organs are functioning. And unfortunately, our modern medicine diagnostic and treatments we have are they're horrible. I mean, look, if you look, the third leading cause of death in America and the third leading cause of death in most countries across the globe is our medical system. I mean, think about that. The system that we go to that is supposed to keep us healthy is the third leading cause of death out there. That just doesn't make any sense, but that's what it is. And then obviously, man, this is truly, truly, truly my favorite examination we run is our Biolimitless DNA Discovery Kit. I mean, think about this. Every time you buy a new car or a new phone or a new watch or whatever, you have a user's manual. Why don't you have a user's manual for you? And every one of you that's listening, I mean, every one of you has a unique genetic blueprint. And this, by the way, is a one and done test. You don't have to run this genetic profile test again. We measure 800,000 genetic markers. There is no other test on the market that measures that many tests. There's just nothing comparable. And it has a 99% sensitivity. 99%, folks. You can't get any more accurate than that. And it's not just the test that's powerful. It's the app that you get. The app that you get tells you so much about you, literally how to eat, how to sleep, what supplements to take, how your body responds to stress, how it responds to medications. I mean, how your biological age and chronological age, it measures so many markers. And by the way, we're learning more and more and more every day. And with our AI-powered technology, the more information we get, the more precise you're going to be able to narrow your genetic lifestyle. And yes, we can develop a genetic diet plan. We can develop a genetic exercise plan all tailored towards you based off of your own genetic profile. It's never been done before. It's so I'm just so humbled and honored to be a part of this and to share the power of the Biolimitless Centers of Excellence with all of you. And post elite examination, again, we'll do our physical medicine therapies, which are custom treatment protocols such as chiropractic and osteopathic work and physical therapy and joint regenerative medicine and stem cell regenerative medicine, again, with custom tailored food plans and nutraceuticals and IV therapies, which can include antioxidants and peptides and vitamins and minerals. I mean, we're going to absolutely enhance your cellular function and improve your biological and chronological age, which if you think about, we can monitor and measure these over the time. Every 90 days, we can reassess your progress, and you'll be able to chart that through your own app. On your phone, you'll have your own app that measures all of your data and really gives you a doc in the box in your pocket, in your phone, on your app. And this is a rendering of our front desk of the Biolimitless Centers of Excellence, where self-care is reimagined, because self-care really truly is the real healthcare. So, there's so much more that I could share with this, but I will tell you that I'm just so excited about what's possible. And that is just the tip of the iceberg. And I promise you this, as science continues to evolve, we will evolve. There's new stuff coming out all the time, and we are going to get more precise, more accurate, and be able to truly eradicate chronic illness. I believe that we're going to see that in our lifetime. I believe that we're going to be able to help with folks that are on different types of autism spectrums. I believe that we have the ability to diagnose and find the root cause of chronic illness, mental illness, and all these things. And I'm just excited to share it with you. This is something that I've been working on for the past 20 years, and I'm humbled and honored that it's being received not only by we the people globally, right? Lay people, but doctors and scientists. I mean, it's just amazing that my colleagues are coming to me and saying, this is what I've been looking for. This is what I want to be a part of. And now we together get to take this to the globe. So thank you.
Whew. Man, I'm so fired up, Dr. Eric. And we're just gonna dive right in, guys, and go into this business model, the numbers, because this is just incredible. We've already the headquarters. Let me pull the slideshow up. The headquarters are going to be in Austin, Texas. This will be the training center and the first location that we launched. We're going to talk about that today. We've already pulled this up. Dr. Eric and Dr. CJ have already gone to Austin, have already selected the facilities. We're doing the same in Dallas. We're doing the same in Houston. We're doing the same in St. Louis. We're going to be making an announcement today about Scottsdale, Arizona. We're going to be our fifth center location. And it's incredible what's taken place. And even the architect, the team that you hired, Dr. Eric, that specializes in the architect. And we were looking at there, I guess there's going to be 3 different possible layouts depending on the locations that we select on.
Oops. You muted, Jeremy. You're muted for a second. Nope, you're still muted.
That's interesting. It's not happening in the US. It's happening in Japan.
That's what I told you. No matter where I'm at in the world, it does this.
Are you always doing it from the same
laptop? We hear you now.
Yeah,
listen, I want everybody to listen to me real quick. I want to say this. Like, there's a reason I believe that happens, because this is such a powerful conversation we're having. I know that I don't want to get too deep in anything, but when you're making changes like we're making, I'm telling you, there are powers and principalities and all kinds of things that don't want this to come out. And that's what we're up against. So Jeremy, get after it. Let's go.
I love it. All right, let's dive in, guys. So we're going to be announcing Scottsdale, Arizona. Dr. Eric and the team have hired one of the best companies out there to actually architect the design of the centers, and it's just so powerful. So, guys, we don't need to go into the depths of who Dr. Eric is, but just know that this is his baby. We are simply backing and have the privilege of being a part of making this a reality. And I remember, Dr. Eric, 2 years ago when we started talking and really started hearing your vision, it was this by the people for the people driver that really connected us, right? Because that's our heartbeat. Our heartbeat is, why can't the masses have access to the things that the elite have access to? Why can't, that's what drove us into crowdfunding, right? How come only the elite investors have the most special opportunities, but the everyday person has to settle for the crumbs, right? And we said, what if we can serve up the whole buffet? What if we can serve up the 5-course, 5-star opportunities to the masses? And when we saw your vision for Biolimitless, said, man, this is next level. So guys, Dr. Eric, of course, is the chief visionary officer of this whole project. But man, we have fallen in love with Dr. CJ. You introduced us to Dr. CJ, and Dr. CJ is now the CEO of the Biolimitless Centers of Excellence. And guys, Dr. CJ has experience of training and developing over 16,000 medical clinics and practices around the world. I mean, he was the president of the International Chiropractors Association. He's a legend among legends, right? And it's been amazing to even travel with Dr. CJ, because people will recognize him. Doctors will come up to him. I mean, he's like the godfather in this space of advanced medicine and healthcare. So it's absolutely incredible, the team that's coming together. And we'll be announcing the whole executive team now that the crowdfund is going live. It is live, and we're really going live this week. The next step is Dr. Eric, I know you're waiting to sign contracts with the executive team to bring them on board, but these guys have lined up, I mean, a dream team of executives that are going to be running this whole project from the inside out. So let's dive in, guys, and just what is available today to you and to everyone around the world, where you can actually have equity ownership in the Biolimitless Centers of Excellence. And I've got to tell you, I believe that what this model has evolved into is one of the absolute most powerful, and I love that we get to use the word investment, because this is a Reg D offering in the United States. It's a Reg S offering globally, internationally, and this is a full-blown opportunity to participate and have real ownership. And I believe the business model that we've put together is the most disruptive that I have ever seen. I think you're going to agree by the time you get to the end of the presentation here today. So our very first raise that's happening is for $25 million, and it's going to fund the creation and development of the first 4 centers: Austin, Texas; Dallas, Texas; the Woodlands, Texas, which is outside of Houston; and St. Louis, Missouri, which is Dr. Eric's back office. And so anyone who participates in this first raise, and I believe this raise will be done in the next few days, you will have ownership of all 4 of these centers. All 4 of them. You will have profit sharing and equity in the first 4 Biolimitless Centers of Excellence. And what's incredible is that no matter where a person lives in the world, you have the opportunity to own. Even though we're starting in the United States with the centers, you have the opportunity to have ownership in those centers no matter where you live around the world. And we also want to make an announcement that we're 1 to 2 weeks away from opening up the retail crowdfund model in the US through the crowdfunding license and registration that is going to be completed in the next week. We are going to be able to offer this in the United States to retail investors as well. And that's going to start with the Scottsdale, Arizona center that we'll be announcing in the next week to 2. So currently in the United States, this is available for accredited investors. Internationally, in all other countries, anyone can participate through the Reg S offering. So you don't have to be an accredited investor to participate. And in the next week or 2 in the United States, retail investors will also be able to participate as well. We'll have more details about that. So this is an investor-driven model. where the investor comes first. 100% of profits from the centers goes back to the investors until 100% of your initial investment is returned, until the 25 million is returned. So 100% of the profits goes back to the investors until the 25 million is returned. Once everyone has achieved full ROI, 40% of all future profits for life continue to pay out to the investors. 20% goes into the profit sharing bonus pools. And we're going to talk about that today. Those profit pools include both the investors as well as community members who are promoting the Biolimitless ecosystem. And we'll talk about that in a future slide. But 20% profit sharing pools back to the community. And then 40% of all future profits go to creating 4 additional clinics. What that means is that not only do you own the 4 clinics that we're talking about today, but an additional 4 centers will be created through a reinvestment model, which totals 8 centers. And that means that when you invest in these 4 centers, you will actually be earning profits from 8 centers. Now, this is so powerful, guys, because we're scaling internally from the model. We're scaling the amount of centers that we own, and all of that reward goes back to the community. And then once that's done, of course, at that point, the company is now able to start taking profits and keeping profits as well. So all investors receive 40% lifetime profits of these 4 centers, plus 40% of the 4 bonus centers as well. The way this model works, it's a membership investor model. And so you have to be a member in order to be able to invest. When you purchase a Biolimitless membership, first of all, you get a 50% discount at any Biolimitless center. So for the rest of your life, for you and your family, you get a 50% discount up to 4 times the value of your membership. And the membership also allows you to invest up to 4 times the value of the membership. For example, a $100 member can invest $400. A $1,000 member can invest $4,000. Once you get to the top membership of $12,500, that's the top level of the membership, there is no limit on how much you can invest. We have people right now that want to invest millions of dollars into these centers. Well, they've purchased their membership for $12,500, and you can invest as much as you want into as many centers as you want for the rest of your life. So once you have that top tier membership, you can participate in the investment model with no limits for the rest of your life. What's powerful about the membership model is the membership also pays out in the peer-to-peer plan. So legally, guys, we are not able to pay commissions on the investment portion, right? So if somebody invests $5,000 into a center, we cannot pay commissions on that investment. But the membership pays out 100% commissions. So for those that love the peer-to-peer model, you want to invite, if you're an investor, you want to invite other investors, you can actually earn upfront income from the membership as well. So for those in the peer-to-peer model, the membership is very, very, very powerful, and it gives you a lot of benefits. You'll also have access to advanced education. Dr. Eric is putting the Biolimitless University together right now, which will have all kinds of courses and training, and our members will have access to all of that membership only type platform. So very, very powerful model of participation, and allows people anywhere in the world to become a member and participate. If you take the 25 million, you break it down with the 4 centers, it's 6.25 million per center. And this will be true with Scottsdale. This will be true when we launch in California, when we launch in Japan, when we launch in Europe. Some of the specific centers may be higher or maybe lower depending on the location and the cost in that location. But 6.25 million is the average cost per center. 15% of the 6.25 million goes into the MSO for operations. That's corporate operations that include legal, finance, compliance, HR, PR, et cetera. 30% is designated to construction, acquisition, and build out. 20% for medical equipment, 15% for 6 months of operating costs for staffing, 8% for marketing, branding, and launch, 4% for inventory and supplies, 8% for working capital and contingency. By the way, any unused portion of the 6.25 million simply rolls into the bonus clinic, the next clinic. So 100% of this 6.25 million is used to open up the centers. Dr. Eric, I'm going to throw it back to you because this slide and the next slide, we really show where the revenue comes from and the revenue model. But this is a question we've been getting a lot, going, okay, when we show the numbers, they say, how can a health center like this generate this type of revenue? So, Dr. E, I'm going to throw it over to you on this slide and the next slide.
Yeah, I think it's important for people to understand that what we've created, our Biolimitless centers of excellence, they're a combination of wellness centers, anti-aging, longevity, and conventional medicine and functional medicine all wrapped into one. It really truly is a one-stop shop. I jokingly tell people, we don't do surgeries and we don't deliver babies. Pretty much everything else we can take care of. And so we really have 3 core phases that people are going to be coming in, and 3 different types of care plans that our model is going to be wrapped around. And the first one is chronic care. These are people that have chronic illness, chronic degenerative diseases. These are people that this is the major problem in the world today. Over 80% of the population has some level of this or moving towards this. So those are folks that we're going to be addressing the root cause of their illnesses. And that's a big deal. Like, we're going to have people that are going to be coming in that have, chronic reflex pain syndrome. These are folks that don't have anywhere else to go on the planet. We're going to be dealing with chronic metabolic issues. We're going to be really resetting people's metabolic and cellular health. So that's a really big subset of patients. We have corrective care plans. Corrective care plans have a lot to do with physical problems. This is physical pain. This includes issues with the nervous system, chronic inflammation. These are people that have, various types of joint problems and spinal issues, and, even things like scoliosis repair. I mean, corrective care, you have to understand something. It takes you months, years, and decades to develop a problem. And the symptoms are the first thing to show up and the last thing, to leave with somebody. So it's not just about the symptoms; it's about correcting the actual physiology. That's going to be the vast majority of people that come in to see us. And then we have our wellness care plans. And our wellness care plans, this is really what we strive to. We really want to get folks out of chronic pain, which is out of the acute phase of their problem, get them into corrective. Once we fix the problem, we want to maintain it. Just like when you get your teeth fixed. Everybody's been to the dentist before, and many people have had to have a root canal or, cavities filled with, fillings or something of that nature. Well, once that's fixed, the dentist teaches you what can you do to prevent this from having a problem in the future or maintain wellness. That's what that is. Additionally, the wellness care is also for people to prevent problems. And I want you to hear this. This is very powerful. It's way simpler to raise a healthy child than it is to fix a broken adult. Many people feel that they're well, but drop dead of a heart attack. Many people think they're doing well, but have no idea, because your health can't just be based off of how you look and how you feel. And I want you to understand that our care plans can range from anywhere from a few $1,000s a year for a patient. We're going to have care plans that are going to be $150,000 a year for care plans. We have stuff for the classes and we have things for the masses. So we've got multiple tiers of types of people that are coming through, which again is very unique because most conventional wellness centers or medical centers, they really only see one kind of patient. It's very niche. And unfortunately, that's not how the human body works. Our specialty is that we are generalist in what we do at the Biolimitless Centers of Excellence. Can I have the next slide? Let me talk about this one.
Oh, sorry, I was muted. We're also going to be adding the longevity care plans in the future too,
Yes.
which we won't even dive into today, guys. But that's a whole nother category there as well with the longevity care plans. And Dr. Eric, before you dive into this, I just want to set this up a little bit because when we initially went over these numbers with you
Yeah.
and CJ, and we looked at the KPIs, the key performance indicators for the executive team, it's 100 memberships a month. The real
Yeah.
target is 100 new patients a month. I'm sorry, care plan. I called it memberships, but 100 care plans a month, 100 new patients. And that's a realistic target. That's that you're doing that in your clinics right now. But the
Yeah.
numbers were so big, and we were like, man, this is incredible. And we said, you know what? Why don't we show the numbers based upon a 50% reach of the KPIs? So, guys,
Yeah.
the numbers that we're going to show you today are literally based on 50% of what the target actually is. And
Yeah.
I like what CJ said. He said, if we're not doing 50 new care plans a month, he said, we're failing and we need to hire a new team. Like this is literally the baseline. So, Dr. Eric, take it away and talk about these numbers. But I just wanted to set that up that, guys, we're going to show you really conservative numbers here today.
Yeah, and that's a really good point. And please understand that the numbers that you're seeing, I've been doing in my clinics for the past 20 years. Dr. CJ and the 16,000 offices that he works with they're very close to these numbers as well. I mean, he's right. If we're not doing at least 50 a month, then again, we have to have a new team, which we won't need a new team. Our team is the A team for what we're doing. But look at this. Even at 50 care plans per month, with an average investment of $8,200 annually for those plans, with a conversion, which means when people come in with an 80% conversion to care and then a 70% reconversion. What's that? What does that mean? That means after the initial annual care plan, 70% of those individuals will re-up again next year. And by the way, we have each of our centers has the capacity to see around 6,000 or more active patients with each center. If you think about that, those numbers can be staggering. I mean, they're huge what it can be. I mean, look, just the first year alone will be around 4.9 million. That's just with 600 active patients. Year two is 8.85 with over 1,000 patients. Year three, with all the retention and the conversion of the active into the lifetime wellness care plans, it's $11+ million. Year four is 14.3 million with just 1,700 patients, and year five is 17 million with 2,088 patients. And I want to plant the seed because many of you that are watching have been in some of my centers in St. Louis. Well, most of those centers have 6,000 plus patients in the system. I mean, think about what those numbers can be. I mean, Edward is right. We're not only helping people get healthy, but we're also helping get wealthy as well, which to me, I think it's pretty impressive. Let me have the next slide, Jeremy, if I can. So think about this. When you look at this, and it's hard for folks to understand what kind of model this is when you've never seen it before, right? And that's why we're showing you this to this day. That examination that I showed you and the treatments that we do, they're so high level. In fact, when Jeremy was mentioning the longevity aspect, who we're bringing on as our chief longevity officer looked at our numbers we have and literally said, I can double those numbers. I can double those with just the longevity aspect alone. So keep that in mind when we're looking at this. So if we look at the profits per the 4 clinics, right? Just look at year one. Year one alone is 12,500,000. That's a phenomenal profit the first year. The second year, 25 million. And if you look at that, 70% goes into is the ROI on that. You got 2 million plus into the bonus pool, which Jeremy will talk about the profit pools in a moment. Year three, 36 million with 4 clinics is easily doable. And look at the investor's return is $14 million on that. And 7.2 million goes into the profit pool. Year 4 is where we really turn it up. Year 3 and 4 is when you're going to see some big expansion in these centers, because we're still attracting that 50 to 100 new patients per month in, converting 80% of those to care. And then 70% of those are converting now to lifetime care after their first annual protocol is finished. So year 4, 47 million, and 18 million of it goes back to the investors. That's powerful. And then 9.4 million is in the profit pool. And then year 5 is when we're hitting out of the park. It's 58 million is the annual profit. 23.2 million of it is the ROI back to the investors. And then 11.6 of that goes back into the profit pools. And I want everybody to remember that the annual operating expenses for each of these centers is going to be around 2.63 million. And that's about 1.7 million. And then the 937,000 that goes into the MSO for operations, legal expense, advertising, and et cetera. So you can see that these numbers are really powerful. Click on the next one. I think that's the individual clinic.
I will, and let me just cover a couple of quick things on here as well, too. A couple of details. Keep in mind, guys, this does not include the bonus clinics.
Right.
So these numbers are just for the 4 clinics that are being invested. When we reinvest into the next 4 clinics, these numbers can even double. I also want to point out that for the investors, we expect a full ROI between year 1 and year 2. So within the first 18 to 24 months, you have a full ROI. And that's incredible. And I want to also just read the disclaimer that these projections or estimates are based on assumptions that may or may not occur. There's no guarantee that can be offered that the projections or estimates will actually occur. This investment opportunity is a Reg D offering in the US and a Reg S offering internationally. And one more thing, Dr. Eric, that I want to clarify, just for those that are detailed people, on these numbers on this slide here, the calculation for these numbers was not an 80% conversion. Listen to this. It was an 80% conversion into year 2. So for year 1 members, 80% continue into year 2. And then, guys, of the 80% that continue into year 2, 70% become lifers. So it's actually even more conservative numbers than what Dr. Eric was just talking about. What you're seeing on the screen really is a conservative number. So Dr. Eric, here's the next slide for you.
Yeah. So if you think about this, per clinic, and this is, I've been doing this for 20 years. This is not my first rodeo, right? And in year 1, you'll see the profits are going to be, around 3.1 million in the centers because of all the exams and all the treatments and all the different types of individuals we're going to be attracting into our centers. And if you look at as an investor, look what goes back to the investor in year 1. And in year 2, we've got 6.25 million in profit per center, with 4.3 million going back to the investment return. And now we're seeing, 629,000 back into the profit pools, which these profit pools are just absolutely amazing. When we talk to physicians and investors about this, it's such an outside the box thinking that people are really excited about it for obvious reasons. But look what happens in year 3. Year 3 and then year 4, we really start to see, the faucet turn on. It'll be around 9 million. And again, these are very conservative numbers, 9 million per center with 3.6 million going back to the investment return, with 1.8 million going into the profit pools. Then year 4 and year 5, you're really seeing it turn over even more. 11.7 million annual profit is going to be, and again, conservative number per clinic, with 4.7 million going back to the investors on this. And look, I'll just tell you my experience with my own personal clinics. We have these centers, self-fulfilling within 6 to 8 months. But just like Jeremy said, the ROIs on that within the first 12 to 18 up to 24 months, every center, every location will be a little different. But these things really generate quickly because our model is a hybrid model where we're accepting some health insurance, we're accepting the cash from patients as well. So it's a beautiful hybrid model that everyone can participate in. And look what happens in year 5. 14.5 million annual profit per center in year 5, with 5.8 million going back to the investor's return, and then 2.9 million going into the profit pools. Again, Jeremy, these numbers are these are conservative numbers, but I just want people to understand really and truly what's possible with what we're doing. So it's pretty impactful.
I love it. Awesome.
Yeah.
Thank you, Dr. Eric. And so, guys,
Welcome.
let's talk in some details about how this crowdfunding model works. How can you participate if you're wanting to be a part of this project? There's two different categories. There's those that are investing up to $50,000 in investment, and then there's those that are investing over $50,000 in investment. So for those who are investing up to $50,000, this is done exclusively on the blockchain in USDT, and your investment level is determined by your membership. So as we mentioned before, if you are a $100 member, you can invest $400 into the centers. And once you get to the top tier membership of 12,500, again, you get a 50% discount at all of the centers, up to 4 times the membership. So you can save up to $50,000 in the centers with a 50% discount for you and your family. And there's no limit on how much you can invest. So for those investing up to 50,000, that's going to be done on the blockchain with USDT. For those investing over 50,000, you have the choice of USDT or a USD bank wire. And so for those that, we have folks right now that are investing hundreds of thousands, millions of dollars, and they're doing it some through USDT and some through bank wire. So once you go above that 50,000, you have that option. And again, that membership level for the unlimited investments is 12,500. There's 2 steps to the process. Step 1 is you purchase your Biolimitless membership. And you'll do that through a referral link. You'll have a link from somebody who is a Biolimitless member, one of our community members. You'll go to their link and you'll purchase your membership. And if you've never used USDT, you've never used a digital wallet, we have videos, and the person who's inviting you will show you how to set that up. It's a very simple process and something that's worth learning, that's for sure. Again, all memberships give you a 50% discount on the centers, on any treatment in the centers, up to 4 times your membership, and they allow you to contribute up to 4 times your membership to the crowdfund. Top tier members can invest any amount. So step 1, you purchase your membership. Step 2 is you're going to pass KYC. For US members, through the Reg D offering, that KYC also includes accredited investor verification. So you need to be an accredited investor, meet the requirements either based on annual income or your net worth, and there's different documents that you can use to satisfy that. For those outside of the US, you'll simply pass the KYC. You'll go through the KYC process. Then you'll sign the PPM. You'll sign the private placement memorandum. That's the legal investor note document. And then you make your investment. It's literally that simple. So become a member, pass KYC, sign the agreement, and make your investment. And it's a very simple process. The profit sharing will pay out quarterly in USDT through the smart contracts to the wallet attached to the membership. And for those that are investing over 50,000, you can choose whether your profit sharing is done through USDT or whether it's done in fiat currency. You have that option. The profit sharing pools. And so this is something we're so excited about because it's so disruptive. 10% of all of the profits from every center will go into pool number 1. Another 10% will go into pool number 2. For investors, every 100,000 of funds invested, you get 1 share in this pool. And this pool has a maximum of 10 shares that any one person can earn. So if you're just an investor and you invest $100,000 or more, for every 100,000 in personal investment, you get a share in this pool. Now, this is so powerful for investors because even though you're getting the 40% profits from the center that you invest into, you also now can earn from all of the centers around the world. And it's a great way to just hedge your investment and actually be able to earn profits, not just from the centers that you choose to invest in, but also from all of the centers around the world that we open over the next 10 years. For those who are introducing other investors, this is a big part of our model. We're a peer-to-peer community. We've seen the power of this model many, many times in the crowdfunding space, where you can invite other investors to participate. Every 100,000 in personal referral investment. So for example, if you referred 5 people who all invested 20,000 USDT, US dollars, you would earn 1 share in this pool because you have 100,000 in personal referral investments. You can earn a maximum of 10 shares by referring other people. Those of you who are building networks, you can also earn shares in this pool for every 100,000 in team investments with the 50% rule applied. And this is so profound. If you really step back and think about this, you have an opportunity to earn equity in this business. And that is an absolute game changer. We ran some numbers, we backdoored some numbers in the first pool, the estimated share value. And again, guys, these are just estimates, right? There's no guarantees, but the estimated share value in pool number 1 is $2,500 per year. The estimated share value in pool 2 is $50,000 per year. And that does not include the bonus centers, which could potentially double those numbers. And we really do believe that those shares in pool number 2 will be as high as $100,000 per year. Now, think about the power of that. If you're a business person, you say, okay, if I go out and I promote this opportunity and I really build this for the next couple of years, and I earn 10 shares in the bigger bonus pool, I can earn $500,000 to $1 million a year in passive income for the rest of my life. So the second pool is really exciting, and it's the same logic as the first pool, but it's based upon every 1 million. So for investors, every 1 million of funds invested gives you 1 share in this pool. There's no limit on how many shares you can receive. For those who are introducing other investors, 1 share is earned for every 1 million in personal referral investments with no limit. And for those that are building networks, for every 1 million in investments through your team with the 50% rule, you also can earn a share in this pool. And again, I want to, it's hard to capture in words how profound, how powerful this is. It's never been done in the history of our industry. We can't pay commissions on the investment, but what we can do is offer profit sharing in the business itself to the entire community who is participating in the crowdfunding, who's sharing the crowdfund, who's investors who are inviting other investors to participate. By helping us grow this project, you get to secure your share of 20% of all of the profits from every single Biolimitless center around the world. And that means you can secure a lifelong residual income that's based upon the business, not based upon people who are on auto ship or people who are buying product packs or whatever it might be. You're literally overriding the asset of the business itself. It's so disruptive, it's so revolutionary, and it's something that's never been done. Now, we're going to shift gears a little bit. For those that are involved in our peer-to-peer model, we also have some really exciting upfront opportunity through the membership referral plan. Obviously, guys, the profit sharing pools is long-term. Those pools don't even take effect until the investors have received their ROI. That's a long-term residual income. But for those that are saying, hey, how can we make money today? What's in it? What's in it for us today? That's going to come through the membership referral plan. Of course, we also have the referral plan for the DNA discovery kits, for the cell signal technology, for the master microbiotic. But 100% of the membership pays out in the rewards plan. 40% to the person who does the referral, 10% on generation two, and then 5% on generation 3 through 10. And we're not going to go into details. It's the same exact qualifications that we talked about on the product side of things. The product counts towards your qualification, and the membership counts towards your qualification. And you can get more details on how you unlock those generations from a different call. We're not going to go into those details today. We also put 10% into an elite bonus pool. So there's a total payout of 100% of the membership, again, plus 20% of all the Biolimitless Center profits pays out into the residual pools. We also have our breakage bonus pools, where 100% of the breakage, which means any commissions that do not pay out in the rewards plan because someone didn't qualify or there wasn't 10 generations to pay out, 100% of that breakage goes into the champions pool and the legends pool. And so every time you qualify for any of the generations, you also earn shares in the breakage bonus pools, and you're able to earn immediate upfront income from those bonus pools as well. We have also the elite bonus pool, as we mentioned. Every 5 million in team volume that you do, you get a share in the elite pool. And then we have profit pool sharing 1 and profit sharing pool 2 available as well. So the bonus pools are incredibly exciting. And basically, guys, it just happens organically. As you're sharing the opportunity, your team is growing, your volume is growing through your team. You have an opportunity to qualify for all of these additional bonus pools as well. So I'm going to stop the share screen. Edward, Ilya, I'm going to throw it over to you guys to share any thoughts that you guys have. And then Dr. Eric, we'll ask you to close us out today.
Yeah, we're way behind, but I think we need to do like a really one call, only talk about the compensation plan, only talk about the profit sharing part, because when you have so much overwhelming information, so much exciting information, and at the end we talk about profit sharing, it's just probably going over the head, because once you see the numbers, I want people to be able to see, to break it down, how we got to this number, why is this, and then it will be like lights on. You get it. Anyway, I'm done.
I love it.
Ilya.
I think you should do that call because you are like, I've never seen you this excited, man. And because you're a numbers guy and you understand the power of that
potential. I know what it will bring. That's why, because I know what it will bring. That's why I'm excited. It's like no brainer.
Yeah, Edward, and the good news, we will be sharing the PowerPoint actually immediately after the call, right? So with leaders, so they will be able to dive into numbers more, because you're right. At the end of this long call, it's a bit maybe difficult to catch everything, but when you read a few times, right, for people who are good with numbers, so it will make a lot of sense. But Jeremy, the model is very strong. The residual part is very strong. And what I like the most is, Dr. Eric, you mentioned a few times, it's a recession-proof business, right? So whatever will happen with economy, I mean, people will need healthcare. So people will care about their health, whatever happens, right? So they will pay to feel better, to be in better shape. And this will be non-stop, right? So it's not based, Jeremy, on something that we did before, like based on trading performance, for example, right? Sometimes trading can give some plus, sometimes minus, right? So with this model, it's consistent, and it's based upon people coming to the clinics like non-stop, right? So of course there will be some months with bigger profits, right, Dr. Eric, from your experience? You're running multiple of those clinics, but it's recession proof, and it's literally, I mean, unless we hit another like COVID or something major happens,
we will have even more business. We'll have even more
business, Ilya.
As long as we have humans,
COVID would be a great thing for this business model.
As long as we have humans on this earth, we have business.
Yes.
Look,
what we're doing is, it's so powerful and it's so necessary. And I'm telling you, this is the evolution. I've said this before. You're 100% right, Ilya. This is a recession-proof industry. No matter what's going on in the world, people need food, they need shelter, and they need healthcare. and they want real healthcare. And people are so sick and tired of being sick and tired. They don't trust the system anymore that's failed them. We're bringing a system by the people, of the people, and for the people that they can participate not just as a patient, but as a member, as an investor, as an owner. I want them to be proud of their center. I want them to say, go to my center in my city that I helped fund. And by the way, go look at all the amazing results that we've got. So look, I know that the world is going to be writing about what we're doing in the history books. And I promise you, I couldn't be more proud to be working with you, Jeremy, and Illy and Edward, because it takes a level of strength and fortitude to be able to stand through the storms. Because right now, the healthcare system is all over the place. I mean, it's the number one talking point right now, really, of even the political space in the US. And we see what's happening here in Japan. I mean, we have hundreds, if not thousands of people that want to meet with me because they don't have even a fraction of the level of care that we are offering at the Biolimitless Centers of Excellence. So all I can say is, for such a time as this, it's time to finally put health and care back into healthcare, back in the hands of we the people. It literally gives me goosebumps of what's possible. And I know that everyone listening is excited because you feel it in your soul. You know that you need to be a part of this. Eventually, you're going to understand it all. And Edward is like, he's like a kid in a candy shop right now. I love his excitement about this because it was all of a sudden it clicked. And he's like, oh my gosh, I have a 10-year plan. This 10-year plan, we're going to save the world. We're going to help so many people. And the level of wealth that we're going to make with this. By the way, when we talk about wealth, it's not just money. It's about the positive influences that we're going to have globally, impacting generations and generations and generations to come. And you all get to be a part of it. So I'm honored, I'm privileged, and I'm so grateful to be a part of this. So thank you all. Thank you.
Thank you for the opportunity, Dr. Eric. Guys, the crowdfund is live, so you can literally go to your Biolimitless direct back office, click on the health center's link there, and you can start the process. Many people have already gone through the KYC process, started purchasing their memberships, and let's go full throttle this week and next. As soon as we complete the 25 million, we will then announce the next 4 clinics, and we will just continue to move that dial. And this is the most important project that we've ever been a part of. The project is so important for the world, and what a great win-win. So great to be here with everybody. Dr. Eric, thank you so much for your time, and looking forward to a great event tomorrow with you here in Tokyo, and it's going to be incredible. Edward, Ilya, appreciate it. Love you guys, and thanks everybody for tuning in today. We'll talk soon.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye, guys.